Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to have you here because we are about to dig into a truly crucial, everyday aspect of our homes. We're diving deep into the hidden underground world of suburban home wastewater. It's a topic most of us completely ignore, right up until our front yard literally smells like a swamp. Whether you're living in your forever home, looking to buy your very first property, or you're just kind of fascinated by the hidden infrastructure that keeps our modern lives running, understanding the pipes beneath our feet is absolutely essential. So I want you to take a second and just picture this. You turn off the shower, you drain the kitchen sink, or you flush the toilet. That water just disappears down the drain in a swirling instant, right? But where does your wastewater actually go? It doesn't just vanish into thin air. It travels through this crazy intricate system that relies entirely on where your home is built and how those services are handled in your specific neighborhood. Broadly speaking, suburban homes use one of two primary systems to get that messy wastewater away from your living space. You're either on a private septic system or a public municipal sewer line. To completely demystify this for you, here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover how the systems work, the costs and responsibilities, warning signs of trouble, proactive homeowner maintenance, and finally, some crucial advice for property buyers. All right, let's jump right into section 1, how the systems work. What's really fascinating to me is just how localized a septic setup actually is. A septic system treats your household wastewater entirely on site. The exact moment the water leaves your home, it flows directly into a buried septic tank in your yard. Inside that tank, the heavy solids settle at the bottom, and a layer of scum forms right at the top. From there, the relatively clarified liquid in the middle pushes out to what's called a drain field, or sometimes a leach field. In this field, the natural soil actually acts as a filter to disperse the effluent. Because this is a totally self-contained biological environment, the success of a septic system depends entirely on the ongoing health of your tank and that surrounding soil. The responsibility for making sure it works falls 100% squarely on the homeowner. Now, contrast that highly localized setup with a municipal sewer system. Instead of treating the water in your own backyard, you are relying on a massive, shared community pipeline. These systems collect wastewater from homes through a huge network of underground pipes and transport it miles and miles away to a centralized treatment facility. So you aren't filtering water in your own soil at all. You're just passing it along to the municipality, and their massive infrastructure handles the whole treatment process at scale. Moving on to section 2, costs and responsibilities. So when things go wrong, who actually pays for it? The contrast here is pretty stark. With a septic system, costs can be completely unpredictable, and they fall entirely on you. They're tied directly to the condition of your specific system, and whatever your local regulations are. You, the homeowner, are paying directly for routine inspections, physically pumping out the tank, and fixing any wildly expensive drain field issues. On the flip side, the financial burden of a public sewer is generally spread out. Homeowners pay predictable monthly utility bills, and the city takes care of the routine operation and maintenance of that major infrastructure. But hey, don't let that fool you into thinking sewer homeowners are totally off the hook. You can still face massive charges for the private plumbing lines, which are called laterals, that actually connect your specific house to the main public system. Which brings us to section 3, warning signs of trouble. Because you have financial skin in the game either way, recognizing early warning signs is absolutely critical. For both systems, if you start dealing with slow drains or weird gurgling sounds, those are your very first red flags. But from there, the symptoms really diverge. Septic failures? They're sneaky. They often develop super slowly, with performance just steadily dropping off before a major disaster hits. You might see unusually wet spots in your yard, smell some odors near the tank, or, and this is super deceptive, you might notice a patch of grass that's vibrantly, noticeably greener over the drain field because it's soaking up all that nutrient-rich, failing effluent underneath. Sewer problems, however, demand immediate attention. Early signs are things like frequent clogs, foul smells near the cleanouts, or even right inside your house. And, most urgently, visceral backups erupting right into your tubs, toilets, or floor drains. Let's talk about how to stop that from happening in section 4, proactive homeowner maintenance. Look, a septic system is a delicate biological balance, so you have to strictly limit what goes down your drain. Pouring harsh chemicals down the sink will literally kill the necessary bacteria inside your tank. And using a garbage disposal too much can completely overload the system with solids. Outside the house, you've got to protect the physical structure of your drain field. Just parking a heavy car on the lawn can physically crush those underground pipes or compact the soil, completely ruining its ability to filter the water. Now, for sewer customers, sure, the municipality handles the heavy lifting, but you still play a vital role here. You have to prevent massive clogs by watching what you flush, because that stuff can actually damage the city's centralized pumps. But honestly, the most important thing you can do is find out exactly where your private plumbing ends and the public line begins. Because if a tree root busts a pipe on your side of the property line, yeah, that massive repair bill is all yours. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Advice for Property Buyers. If you're out there looking to buy or refinance a suburban property, here is your absolute essential due diligence checklist. Step 1. Verify the setup. Never, ever just assume you are on city sewer. Step 2. If it is a septic home, you want the paperwork. Demand a recent tank inspection and the historical records of exactly when it was last pumped. Step 3. If it's a sewer home, physically locate the cleanouts on the property. Check if there are any permits or prior plumbing work on file, which is incredibly critical if the property is running on an older lateral line. And finally, Step 4. Always consult your local health departments or wastewater authorities. Regulations and maintenance schedules vary wildly depending on your region. Having a crystal clear understanding of this infrastructure upfront prevents massive surprise budgets later on, and it helps you act way faster if those warning signs ever appear. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly important question to ask yourself today. Do you actually know the exact pumping history or the specific cleanout locations for your own home? Whether you're on a self-contained septic tank or you're tied into the municipal sewer line, ignorance is definitely not bliss when we're talking about plumbing. It is time to check your home's documentation, map out your systems, and really take control of the hidden infrastructure beneath your feet. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go track down those property records right now. Catch you next time.